Hello everyone and welcome to the Strongest Army Challenge. Well, it is a beautiful day at the side of the arena as we prepare ourselves for week 1 of the Strongest Army Challenge. Of course, the big story up until this point, the Conquerors has been banned from competition after being found to use illegal performance-enhancing substances. It's a shame that it has come to this, but we're going to be seeing all contestants today clear and above board. The first two, of course, going into the arena now, it's going to be Lifebinder versus Alrighty Matey Potato. Lifebinder in the red, taking 31 longbows and 6 war elephants against the 15 Teutonic Knights and 32 Chukonu of Alrighty Matey Potato. And the question on everybody's mind, which meat shield is going to hold up first? Will it be the 6 war elephants? Will it be the 15 Teutonic Knights? And it looks like those war elephants are coming out on top here. Of course, you've got to remember, those Teutonic Knights not nearly as impervious to arrow fire from the longbows compared to those elephants, which are now breaking the front line of Alrighty Matey Potato's Chukonu. Lifebinder here had enough budget left over to afford fletching as well, and he will now punish Alrighty Matey Potato's Chukonu as their numbers are waning, and the number of Chukonu gonna fall down to 0 as the arena claims its first victim. Lifebinder gonna get the victory there and move on to face his next opponent, which is going to be Game of Counter. Game of Counter bringing 13 pikemen, 2 elite skirmishers, 2 ballista elephants, 7 Chukonu, 8 Mameluke, 6 Mangadai, a scorpion, and a battering ram to the field. The question is this more diverse army going to have what it takes? It's a 2-unit army versus about a 12-unit army here. Game of Counter trying to throw in a lot more of those counter units into the fight, and let's be honest, it's working out well for him so far, as those Mameluke using their attack bonus versus the elephants will take them out and do a number on Lifebinder's meat shield. However, there is still a problem for Lifebinder here. Without a meat shield left and with some tanky units left from Game of Counter, he will be able to regroup after being scattered from the initial push. Those war elephants did send Game of Counter's units far and wide, but they've regrouped together now, and those longbows might not be able to stand up to this ballista elephant push. There is a lot of damage coming out from these guys, and there's also a couple of a couple of elite skirmishers left on the field as well. That battering ram there hardly having any impact at all. It did seem to stay quite far out of the battle. The AI perhaps not having the best control, but Game of Counter will indeed counter Lifebinder's army so far, and he will now go up against the great AAAAA, who is going to be fielding a very different army of 14 slingers, 2 light cavalry, 4 war elephants, 4 war wagons, and 6 mangonels. The 6 mangonels at the back here, perhaps key for AAAAA. That's a lot of damage potential coming out for these guys, as long as the meat shield in front can survive for long enough. Those mangonels can output huge damage and devastating damage from the back of AAAA's army here. Lots of DPS, and of course they will also clean up the ram very effectively on that left side. And what's left for Game of Counter? Well, a few squishier archer units, and even those ballista elephants here don't seem to be too much trouble for the remaining mangonels of AAAA. The first player to field a mangonel in this arena, and he's going to do so with style. A lot of units remaining for AAA there. The slingers still alive at the end, and a good number of 5 mangonels remaining from the initial 6, keeping most of those guys alive and giving himself an edge there, where he will now move into the arena for the second time versus Drunken's Empire. Drunken's Empire is going to be fielding 2 mangonels, 10 Teutonic Knights, 2 Magyar Hussar, 3 Light Cavalry, 3 Skirmishers. But the big move for Drunken's Empire going to be those 18 Arambai. The 18 Arambai doing 18 damage each. It's quite poetic. But will they have what it takes to clean up those elephants from AAAA as quickly as possible here? They are going to hit hard, but will they hit hard enough? Doesn't look like it. The elephants are still going to break through, and the final elephant for AAAA is going to go down, but there's still war wagons to contend with. There's still a number of slingers here, which might be weak, but will distract the Arambai for long enough that the mangonels from AAAA can do the damage from the back. Those Arambai there are great at dealing with siege, but they have to be firing at the siege, and it looks like Drunken's Empire maybe had one too many to drink here, didn't bring the A game to the fight, and will be cleaned up as there are still 3 mangonels remaining for AAAA. He's now going to face up for the 3rd time in the arena against Chinomino, who is taking a different angle of 15 Scorpions, forwarded with 8 Huskars and 7 Pikes, mixed in there with 7 crossbows as well. Now the meat shield here, containing the Pikes, should be able to take down some elephants, but you've got to remember, from AAAA, he does have those mangonels at the back, and, well, there's still an elephant alive here as he continues to push forward, and that is a big problem for Chinomino. Of course, the Scorpions do hit hard, they do a lot of damage, but they are incredibly weak to mangonel fire. A mangonel will take down 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 Scorpions if they are piled up on top of each other, and those Scorpions there unable to hold their own without a strong meat shield in front, and AAAA is about to get his 4th victory in a row. He's one victory away from entering the Hall of Fame as he comes up now against the Wallaloian Warriors. The Wallaloian Warriors, a ragtag bunch of men from all walks of life, 1 light cavalry, 4 war elephants, 6 karambits, 6 pikemen, and once again another 18 Arambai mixed in there with 2 mangonels. Let's see if the Wallaloian Warriors can pull this one off. The big difference here, it's quite similar if you remember back to Drunken's Empire's army. However, he is taking war elephants instead of Teutonic Knights, and those war elephants so far seem to be doing the work. The war elephants with the Wallaloian Warriors still alive as they make it towards the back lines of AAAA here. AAAA needs this victory if he wants to get into the Hall of Fame, but the 3 mangonels that remain are going down very quickly now as there's still a war elephant on the map for the Wallaloian Warriors. It looks to me like AAAA might meet the bitter end here. There's a huge number of units left for the Wallaloian Warriors. The Arambai cleaning up the remaining slinger as the Wallaloian Warriors take down the 4 consecutive winner of AAAA. Now going up against Quantity is greater than Quality as a huge, massive unit comes across the map. Quantity is greater than Quality, fielding 52 Karambit Warriors, 32 Chuko Nu. There's a huge number of units here as the Karambit start swarming the elephants, but those elephants do splash damage, and my goodness, did those Karambits just melt away. Wow, they are all gone in the blink of an eye, leaving just the Chuko Nu exposed, of course, from the back against those mangonels, against those Arambai, and still trying to deal with the elephants, which are still pushing forward and breaking up the front line of the Chuko Nu. Quantity is greater than Quality. Well, it doesn't seem like your math checks out, my friend, and this army is going down. The Wallaloian Warriors, 2 victories in a row. And there was a little snippet of text which came with this army. Many devout members of the Church of Wallalo have banded together for vengeance. A ragtag group of men from all walks of life, including 2 rare mangonels thought to be extinct. They are now together for one purpose: to avenge the slain monks, recover the sacred relics, and restore balance to the universe. Without their beloved monks, the journey will be hard, and their wounds will leave scars. But the warriors will defeat any enemy who blocks the road ahead. Their blood-curdling wallalos can be heard as they charge into battle, as they do charge now into battle versus Fughorn, who is fielding an army, Torminator even, who is fielding an army of 10 Conquistadors, 1 Rattan Archer, 8 Teutonic Knights, and 11 war wagons. But the Wololoian warriors here looking pretty strong as well, as we see those remaining war wagons being cleaned up and a much greater number of units left on the field. The Conquistadors, of course, very similar in style to the Arambai, but not quite hitting here as hard, it seems. The Wololoian warriors are going to get themselves another victory as they move on to face Foghorn now. 21 crossbows, 4 elite skirmishers, 2 light cavalries, 11 Huskarls, 2 Karambit warriors, 3 war wagons, 2 mangonels, a ram, fletching bodkin arrow, and Forging. Foghorn getting a lot of units out on the field here, but will they have what it takes? The front line for Foghorn once again melting away in front of those elephants. And of course, those Huskarls that he had in there, they're great at dealing with arrow fire, but not against darts from the Arambai. The Arambai able to penetrate their high pierce armor with a lot of damage still going through. And unfortunately for Foghorn, those forward Huskarls will be cleaned up very quickly. The mangonels at the back now have the crossbows in a corner, and surely they're going to be taking some big shots. In it goes, and oof, very nice here for the Wololoian warriors. They're going to find themselves another victory, a third victory in the arena, as Foghorn will be taken down. The Wololoian warriors, taking quite a lot of losses in that one, as they go up against now All Castle from iVictorious. iVictorious here fielding an army of basically one of everything. All of the unique units coming together here in this battle. Let's see how they can perform. Notably, there are no war elephants for the All Castle team, opting instead to go for a second war elephant and a second organ gun. There are a couple of duplicates in there, but look at this. Those elephants having such a big impact in the match. The war elephants tanking so much damage, and it seems like a common theme. The team that can have the biggest meat shield and do the most DPS behind it seems to be getting the edge in these battles. The Wololoian warriors now charging down the middle, splitting iVictorious's All Castle army in half. And the remaining units for Ivic and the All Castle team will be taken down as the Wololoian warriors get their 5th victory in a row and enter the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to those guys. We'll be seeing them later on in the final round robin. They are our first Hall of Famers, and now we'll switch it up with 2 new teams. Classic Misdirection versus Challenge. Classic Misdirection here, going for 3 rams, 2 mangonels, 5 scorpions, janissaries, huskarls, 11 crossbows, 8 light cavalry, versus Challenge, who's going for the huge number of scorpions, 20 scorpions on the map, 12 huskarls as well. And he did break through Classic Misdirection's front line, but those mangonels are unanswered, and we've seen this a couple of times already. Scorpions getting absolutely flattened by mangonels in this one. The Scorpions from Challenge also focusing down on the ram on the left side from Classic Misdirection, and Classic Misdirection will be able to take this army to the cleaners, it seems, as the remaining Scorpions are going to be taken down by the mangonel here. 2 for 1 shot there for Classic Misdirection, and he'll get his first win on the board as he goes up against Guardian 1996 with a huge army of 9 pikemen, 3 long swordsmen, 24 crossbows, 4 elite skirmishers, 3 battle elephants, 3 Chukonu, a Huskarl, 4 jaguars, 3 organ guns, a war elephant, and a war wagon. It is a very diversified army, and let's see what happens here as the rams move forward. Fortunately, it seems for Classic Misdirection, those rams haven't taken much damage from the melee front line of Guardian 1996. The war elephant there going down before it can actually damage the rams, and now Classic Misdirection has 3 pretty healthy rams in front of his ranged units, tanking up all of those crossbows, all of those organ guns, and those 2 mangonels from the back. Watch them carefully, as they will be inflicting heavy damage onto these remaining units from Guardian 1996. Even the Scorpions as well doing a great job in this one. And the Siege from Classic Misdirection winning the day once again, as he gets 2 wins to his name, going into game 3 for him against AI Siege Sucks. Well, we will see about that. AI Siege Sucks here, coming in with 8 knights, 30 pikemen, and 31 crossbowmen. Those crossbows at the back, a little bit late to the party, it seems. But they're going to be grouping up now and going straight in there. That is a lot of pikemen, but those pikemen are paying the price of running in against a lot of scorpions at the back. And now, of course, you've got the mangonels getting some big shots in against the crossbows. The rams for classic misdirection once again surviving that initial onslaught. And AI Siege sucks. Might have to be eating his words here, might have to eat his own hat, as it looks like those crossbows will be very quickly overwhelmed here by the 3 rams sitting in front of classic misdirection's army. It's a classic misdirection strat, and it looks like AI Siege sucks is indeed going to be taken to the cleaners as classic misdirection gets another win on the board. Going up now against Deathblight Oz, who is fielding a really wide variety of units once again. 10 pikemen, 7 long swordsmen, 10 camels, 16 Chukonu, 5 crossbows, 2 mangonels, and a scorpion in there for Deathblight Oz. Coming in now, he will be facing up against classic misdirection once again, who's on a little bit of a streak. But let's see how this one turns out. The rams this time for classic misdirection being taken out, it seems, being focused, it seems, by the mangonels on the right side from Deathblight. He is going to be taking them out as he pushes forwards a little bit here. The front line from classic misdirection starting to collapse in. The remaining units from Deathblight going to be pushing forwards. Those Chukonu doing a lot of damage in here as well. There are still 3 or 4 scorpions up for classic misdirection though, but once again, no mangonels on the field for classic misdirection does mean that those scorpions will be focused down very effectively by the mangonels at the black from Deathblight Oz. Looks like Deathblight here might actually be taking out classic misdirection, and there you have it, the remaining units being cleaned up and the end of classic misdirection there, as Deathblight will go on to face his next opponent in next week's video. Thank you very much for tuning in to our first week of Strongest Army Challenge. There were over 600 army suggestions, and unfortunately not enough time to show them all, but we will be back soon with another episode. Congratulations once again to the Wallaloian Warriors, who will enter the Hall of Fame. Stay tuned, watch out next time. We may see another team entering the Hall of Fame to join them. But for now, I have been ZeroEmpires. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.